The dance of control. The mind rarely leaves an impulse alone. A desire appears, a worry appears, a possibility appears, and almost immediately the mind begins constructing a future around it. When should I act? What might happen? How can I make sure it goes well? What should I do if it does not? The original thought may have been small, but the mind turns it into something that must be anticipated, negotiated, and controlled. It rehearses conversations that have not happened. It solves problems that do not exist. It attempts to feel tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. This often looks like responsibility. It feels like preparation. But much of what we call planning is simply fear dressed up to be respectable. The fear of making the wrong choice. The fear of being caught unprepared. The fear that when the moment arrives, we will not be able to handle it. So we try to live the moment in advance. We imagine every outcome. We establish rules. We build systems. We promise ourselves that this time we will remain in control. But every future the mind creates becomes another thing to manage in the present. Every plan must be remembered. Every rule must be monitored. The mind becomes the manager of a life that has not yet happened. And then it seeks relief from the burden of managing it. This is the dance most people are caught in. The mind creates tension through control, then searches for an escape from the tension it created. The escape can almost take any form: scrolling, eating, working, shopping, drinking, watching, talking. Anything that briefly allows the mind to stop supervising itself. For a moment, the rules disappear. The future disappears. The grip loosens. But relief is soon followed by judgment. You notice the time you wasted, the work you avoided, the promise you broke, the decision you regret. The mind treats this as evidence that you cannot be trusted. So it returns with stricter rules, a tighter schedule, a better system, a more convincing promise that next time will be different. Control creates the need for escape. Escape creates the justification for more control, and the dance continues. A person might plan every hour because they fear wasting their life. The schedule becomes suffocating. They escape into distraction. The distraction creates guilt, so they make the schedule even stricter. Another person monitors everything they say around others. Every conversation becomes a performance. The performance becomes exhausting. They withdraw to recover. The withdrawal makes the next conversation feel more threatening. So they monitor themselves even more closely. Another person places enormous pressure on their work. Every sentence must be right. Every decision must be defensible. Every possible criticism must be anticipated. The work becomes heavy. They procrastinate to escape the weight of it. The procrastination creates shame. So they approach the next task with even more pressure. People rarely notice that the mind is creating the very behavior it claims to prevent. They assume that the distraction, avoidance, or exhaustion appeared first. That control is the solution. But control may have created the conditions that made escape feel necessary. There is a difference between preparing for reality and attempting to replace it. You cannot know how the conversation will go. You cannot know whether the decision will prove right. You cannot know how you will feel tomorrow. You cannot know whether the plan will survive contact with life. The attempt to remove uncertainty does not remove it. It merely removes you from the present while you try. Control asks you to distrust the moment before it has even arrived. It assumes that whatever happens will be too difficult, too uncomfortable, or too unpredictable to meet directly. So everything must be rehearsed, contained, decided in advance. But there is another way. You can decide that the present moment may contain enough information for the present moment. That you do not need the answer to tomorrow's question today. That you can respond when something actually happens. Surrender to the present. Stop demanding that life reveal itself before you agree to participate in it. It won't. You still make plans, but you do not ask them to guarantee your safety. You still make decisions, but you do not require certainty before making them. You still feel discomfort, but you do not immediately treat it as a problem that must be removed. The controlled mind believes that trust must be earned by predicting the future correctly. But trust has little to do with knowing what will happen. It is the willingness to meet what happens. The mind wants the entire path before taking the first step. The present offers only the ground beneath your foot. Perhaps that is enough. Perhaps control is not strength. Perhaps it is the refusal to discover that you could handle the moment without rehearsing it first. You may not need another rule. You may not need a better system. You may not need to think further ahead. You may need to let the moment arrive. To trust that reality will show you what imagination cannot. To discover that surrender is not losing control. It is ending the fight against reality. The dance ends when uncertainty no longer demands control. When tension no longer demands escape. When a thought can remain a thought without becoming a future to be managed. The mind will continue to offer plans. It will promise safety. It will insist that one more rule will finally place life under control. But life was never asking to be controlled. Sincerely, Milo Morrison.